Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for SP500 with Elliott Wave Theory. A couple of advertisements here at the start. I finally completed the Elliott Wave and RSI Advanced course, so if you want to master the RSI and want to learn how it can be utilized properly with Elliott Wave Theory, check out the course on Udemy. I've also started counter trend capital with few expert traders that will be paid Discord group. Currently the Discord is free, so you can check it out if you're interested. And lastly, if you want to educate yourself and support me, you can take a look at Patreon, where you can find Elliott Wave Basics course, access to weekly live streams and extra content overall. Thank you for your support. Let's get into the charts next. So here we are on 1 hour time frame and taking a look at again these more local structures. Now let's start with the lows of October, and since then again the overall premise has been this, where we were expecting this to be a three-way structure as the main scenario. Then we'd be looking for a correction for that structure to be taken place, and in this form it would be an X, because again this would be a three-way structure and this has not retraced enough to be a flat, and then we'd be looking for another partner leg up. Now I have not presented this option before, but there is of course a chance where this wave X here would be down at these lows. So at this point we could be creating this as the first structure of that X, then we would have another structure here and a third structure. Now, as we have taken out the origin of this wave, well, at this point wave X, it is more common to have this as the B wave, so some kind of flat structure. So either we'd be looking for a running flat or expander flat. Expander flats are way more common, so that's why we would be expecting that. So the expectation would be taking out these lows. Now that we have come this far already downwards in this price, we can be starting to take a look at some of the targets that we'd be expecting. Now 1-to-1 is again the major target for any kind of running flat. So if we see a confluence of the count saying that we have 5 waves ending at these 1-to-1 areas, then that could be definitely a good place to take some profits. We have already hit the minimum of 0.618. However, the count that I have here impulsing downwards is not nearly complete, so that's why I don't think that the 0.618 here is of any relevance, to be honest. If we turn out here, of course that is possible that I've labeled this wrong, or that my count is completely wrong and this is indeed some kind of three-way structure like so instead. But that is something that I'm currently tracking at this very moment. So two different ideas here are laid out together. Of course, it is possible that wave Y is already at these peaks, and this, if it indeed is an impulse wave structure, we would be impulsing down and starting to fit more with the previous trend that was downwards here. So again, we'd be looking for higher degrees and the higher time frame counts that I've been presenting before as well. But that is just one idea. Exactly same idea here on this more of an impulsive or wave A or wave 1 up in here count. It's exactly the same situation. If we again come down here more lower, and especially if we take these out, there is a chance that this is an ABC like that, expanded flat, and that at that point again we would be favoring more of that B wave, as generally the B waves are more common to take place in such large consolidations than the wave 2s. Generally wave 2s are not going to be taking that much time. But again, my main is still that WXY count. Now let's check out the structures from the highs and how I've currently labeled them. At this moment I've labeled this as a wave 1, 2, another 1, 2. I do realize that this wave 1 here is kind of large in comparison. Let's see if I can find the 1-to-1 here. It is larger than the high degree. However, there is two different ideas here. Either we have this as a wave 1 of micro, and then this whole thing would be a wave 2 of micro. Again, at that point, this wave 2 is kind of significantly larger already than this first structure, and we generally don't have flats, or as I'm going to expand it, or at this point running flats, since we did not take out these highs here in wave 2s. But again, that is nothing, no rules are broken. It's just more of a probability thing. There is a chance that this is indeed a wave 2 of this micro here, where we have it here. But at this point, I do like this decently much, and it's decent looking to me as well. Again, it's not really perfect, gotta admit that, but it is what it is. The wave 2 also here looked very much like a phi wave, which was the only reason why we were looking for this as the wave 2 possibility. Now since then, since the highs of this wave 2, we had another potential 1, 2, 1, 2, starting to get these 3s, 4s and 5s here into again 3, 4 and 5. Now the question is this the right degree? And to be honest, I can't say that it is. The lowest RSI here on hourly only happened in here. I'm not quite sure if this is even a 1, 2, 3. It could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, all we know. But again, I've labeled this as more of a not as bearish of a count. It can be, but a bit more realistic. Again, if we need to be making or getting some kind of degrees later on, this is the point where we are going to be getting them from. And instead of 3 being here, we would have this as a 1, 2, and then this would be 3, 4, 5, most likely. And then again, this 3 would be at these lows, and that way we can get one more low in place if we need to be starting to look at what that is going to be. At this point, this wave 3 of submicro is still there. I think this looks decent. We did have some divergences going on here, and however, I don't think this wave 4 is here. I kind of like another leg up to get some kind of resemblance to this wave 2 size, because again, if this was the case, we would have kind of different sizes. This wave 4, if it was this size, it could be just exactly as one of these very small structures here within this wave 2. So I would expect us to get some kind of move up, potentially take some kind of liquidity from up here and then start to go down again. If we don't take out these lows first before pivoting upwards, we're going to be having again similar structure to this. However, again, this as this resembles more of a phi wave structure, I don't really know what we should be labeling this as. So I guess zigzag here is decent, but both of them would be sharp, as we would not take out the lows here or the origin price, so we would not create a flat structure like this. After wave 4, again we'd be expecting 5, so this would be 3, 4 and 5, and we'd be doing something like that. At that point, again, depending on if we are going to be getting any extensions on these legs, we would be looking at some of the extension targets. Potentially the 1-to-1 would be most common here at this very moment, if we want to be still playing with this idea of this being a similar structure or within the same structure. If not, then this whole thing could be a structure on its own, which would be again starting a structure that would be part of a larger degree. For the larger degrees, again, the overall idea or the main idea has been not that one, but this one, where we had completed potentially this wave Y. And yeah, that is basically that. W, X and Y. Not too bad of a look. I don't think wave Y should be continuing too much higher based on this count, because again, at this point, wave Y is already larger in price, in price and in time than wave W here. So again, we don't really need to be expecting that too much. The other scenario, of course, that we were talking about was this one, where wave B would be already complete. And this would be A wave here, B wave, and then we'd be looking for a partner leg for that wave A down below. And at that point, again, we'll see how and where we're going to be looking for it later on. But again, if this indeed is turning into a phi wave move, we'd be looking for a pullback and then another dump, 3, 4 and 5. So again, that would be creating this whole structure. And at that point, we have a chance of pivoting. A larger pivot and a larger chance of pivoting upwards. as at that point we would be completing this higher degree intermediate count fully. And this would be the area where I would be probably dollar cost averaging into things, and not things, but assets that I'd be interested in. More so than just trading is smaller time frames. But of course, that is not a guarantee that we even go there. It's just the main scenario that I've been having for quite some time. We'll see if that turns true or not, but I think that is going to be the end of this video. Again, if you made it this far, I would appreciate the likes and comments on the video. And if you want to be learning more, check out the Patreon, check out the Udemy course for the advanced Elliott Wave and RSI, and also check out CTC as well for signals and more education. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye bye.